What's happening, people? United Central here, back with another video. This is a different video to what I normally do. You know what I mean? We all talk about football. We talk about, worldly matters, things that we enjoy. But this is a different type of video. And this is called a Madden in the Dunya talk. What are you saying, Moosa? Everything all good?
I'm good. It's mad in the Dunya.
Yeah, man. It's always mad in the Dunya, man. I've always said that. I've said that for like days and days, bro. I always say, man, this Dunya is crazy, man. And for people who don't know what the word Dunya means, it means the world, basically. You know what I mean? It's the world we're living in right now. The craziness of the world, good or bad. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to Aaron. You get me? We're doing bits, man. You get me? So yeah, man. How you doing there, Moosa? You everything good?
I'm good, man. I can't complain, man. The Resale Hub, obviously, we're nearly completed now, so we've been working, trying to make things happen, trying to just push the launch. Obviously, it's lockdown, so it's mad in the Dunya. It's
Tell you, man.
out there. It's not easy. So we're just trying to make things happen. You know what I mean? Like we always say, it's mad out here, but we got to keep pushing.
Exactly, man. Shout out to everybody who's joining the video right now. You get me? It's an interactive show, guys. So if you have any questions, anything about what we're going to talk about tonight, you know what I mean? We are going to put the links in the description below. You know what I mean? Saeed, big up to you, bringing awareness about mental health during lockdown. Absolutely, man. I think for me, as a kind of, I wouldn't call it influencer, but a person who has a platform, you know? I feel like for me, as a person who has a platform, I don't know if it's my duty or I have to, you know what I mean, use it to my advantage. And I feel like Moosa, you know what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, 100%. I agree, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean? As a person who has a say in the community, you know what I mean, and can provide a platform where people around the world are watching, you know what I mean? It's I would call it my duty to say, you know what? I need to give that kind of different side of me, you know, where, you know, it's not all just like, you know, shouting at each other about football and saying this and that and saying my team's better than your team. And I feel like for me, the social media world, man, it doesn't kind of give you a true reflection of what is happening in this world right now, man. You know what I mean? It is a crazy world out right there, man. And a lot of people,
100%.
you know what I mean? A lot of people who they're showing a kind of a brave face saying, you know what, I'm okay on that, you know what I'm saying? So
no, it's 100%, man. I feel like, you know what I mean, the shows like this highlights things like, example, if we look at the Dunya recently and we look at things that's been happening, we look at a country that's, you know, that's looked at as one of the most established countries in the first world. You know, we like to talk about third world countries that are going through poverty. Well, if we look at those countries as third world countries and this being the first world, well, this is still a country where we find that some of our children don't have enough food throughout the day. So we've got someone like Marcus Rashford who's pushed the government. He's had to push them literally to feed the kids, because besides that, they didn't want to do it. And someone like him being a Mancunian and a Man United player, he still had the support of the rest of the country. So whether you support Liverpool or City, people have supported Rashford in that endeavor because of obviously the how it connects everyone and the importance of it, because it's bigger than football what he's doing there.
Absolutely, you know man. We got a chat here from Arwan Bisaka. He says, my grandparents died because of the Rona. Thoughts are with you. Rest in peace to your grandparents. It's hard to focus with GCSEs and do well. Football is the only thing stopping me from suicide. Early advice. I'll start with you on that one, Moosa. You know,
condolences to him and
condolences.
His family. A lot along his grandparents and like that. And a lot of people are saying that. A lot of people are saying the importance of football to them in this period of time.
Yeah.
Obviously, like that it kind of takes them away from reality, even though if it's for an hour and a half. But someone like that would say, man, you got to speak to people, man. Speak to people. Speak to people who are, you know, professionals in the field, practitioners, people that can really help you with your going through. Don't bottle up and keep it to yourself, you know, because that's a serious statement for him to say that if it wasn't for football, he doesn't believe that life's worth living. So someone like that, I'll tell him, man, speak to the people that know, man. You know what I mean? There's a
Yeah.
reason that they know. It's because they've studied and, you know, they're accomplished in the work that they do. Sometimes it's difficult to reach out, but that first step is everything, man. It's like anything in life. Taking that first step is vital and it's important, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially football, you know what I mean? Try to see that as a positive, you know what I mean, that you can build upon. And yeah, you know, see people, see advice, speak to your family. The main thing is you have to speak up in these times, you know what I mean? It might be a hard thing to do, but I think for me, you have to speak up and talk to people, and you know, don't be afraid to say things that you know that you might see as a stigma. You know, you might see as a thing where you know people are going to be frowned upon. Like you have to say everything, man. And for me, all I would say, man, you know what I mean. Your grandparents will be looking up on you and say, you know what, they would want you to kind of succeed and go and keep pushing on. I mean, that's what grandparents always do, man. No matter what, they put you first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So
I
for
think they
me,
have that experience in it. When you're a
yeah,
grandparent, you have that experience of raising your own kids. So when you
yeah,
see them have kids, you maybe don't want to make the mistakes that you've done with yours. So
yeah,
you kind of raise them different. But obviously, being a lot of people are saying it's a serious topic, it's a difficult topic to talk about. Yeah, I feel because mental health has a stigma, right? So a lot of times,
yeah,
especially if we look at the suicide rate for males, you know, suicides, or we would say that suicide is the biggest causer for men between the ages of 30 and 45. You know what I'm saying? It's the biggest cause. It kills men all over this country more than anything, more than sicknesses like cancer or accidents or different disease. You know, more men take their lives
mm,
between those ages than anything else. So it shows that it's a big problem in that environment of young men or young adults in terms of some of the pressures that they face. And I feel
mm,
like they just got to speak up more and talk to the
mm,
right people and understand that there's nothing to be embarrassed about. You see it?
mm. Absolutely, man, absolutely. And I feel like for me, you know, what I mean, one of the biggest pressures, uh, mental health is usually youngsters. You guys hear about the 12-year-old who took his life. Yeah, I heard about it. You know, Moosa, I don't know if you heard about this.
Mm-mm. The football or someone else? Because
No, this one.
we lost a young lad who got dropped by a football team not long ago.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
took
even another one. Yeah, Jeremy Wilson. Do you think it's the kind of a pressure nowadays? You know what I mean? To kind of always succeed. Is that? I feel like for me that's the biggest one. You know, and not let anyone down. I feel like for me, a lot of people, you know, want to succeed just to show that you know what I can do it. You know, sometimes I feel like the failures of trying, you know what I mean, and then kind of coming back. The comeback for me are the ones where you know it's even more greater. I feel like for me, I think the
mm,
pressure of succeeding quickly. I feel like for me that's the
yeah.
biggest one. You know, everyone wants it fast nowadays, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. It's difficult and there is a lot of pressure, man, because like we said, we're in a new age where everything's publicized, everything that you do is online, and there's a lot of pressure to succeed. Like you said, I think a lot of young people now they have the pressure of also failing their parents or failing
Yeah.
the people around them. And sometimes they feel like, cool, if I'm failing everyone around me and I'm not doing right, a lot of the time it is leading to them thinking that maybe it would be better off if they weren't around. So I think again, as we say as parents, especially myself, I think it's just being alert, understanding your surroundings and the people that you have around you and your kids and also your support that you have and just taking
Mm,
time out to kind of overstand the situation by um listening, but listening with a different type of ear. You know what I mean, a lot of the time we listen, but we're listening at a certain type of frequency, and sometimes I feel like
mm,
there's a lot more to it. So you might seem like you're listening normally, but you're listening at different level of frequency, and through that, you're trying to hear things out that might make you feel or understand that a person's going through something kind of different. So it's not easy.
uh,
It's not easy for anyone because we're all learning. But at the same time, yeah, social
mm.
media,
Wow,
it's a new
that's
world.
the one I was saying there. That Statman Bates says it absolutely spot on, mate. You know, I mean, shout out to Statman Bates. He goes, social media generation, everything's on social media is positive. No one documents failures, makes it hard for everyone. I think that's the biggest one for me, and I feel like for me, it's one of a contributing factor to mental health. You know what I mean? They see the kind of the glamour on social media. You know what I mean? They don't see the bad days. Of course, nobody's gonna show the bad days. You know what I mean? But I always say to people, don't compare your life to someone else's, man. You know, don't compare your come up to another person's come up. You know what I mean? It's different. We're built different. We have different families. We have different community, different sources of income. You know what I mean? There's whole contributing factors. You know what I mean? And for me, that's the biggest one, man. I've always said it for me. You know what I mean? I might be using a social media platform, but I know that I don't rely upon it. You know what I mean? To know what's right and wrong. You know what I mean? I don't rely on it to make me realize that, you know what I mean? And that's the biggest one for me. It's my character. You know what I mean? My character is not social media. I haven't, you know, people that know me know that I'm a humble guy. I give to the community. I'm a people person. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people, they show a certain side of them on social media, and it, you know what I mean? And when they go out in the real world, man, they have no clue. Absolutely no clue.
100% it is, man. It is as well. And what's that, like Statman Baines was saying, there's that people don't publicize their failures, or they don't talk about it enough. So it doesn't allow people to kind of understand that, that people do go through difficulties and are able to succeed, or
Yeah.
people do have hard times. But a lot of the time as well, it's like when you're going through something, even though it might be there and people do talk about it, it's not what's going to come to your mind at the time. Do you know what I mean? You're just going to be thinking you're in a bad place, you're in a bad situation. So it's difficult. It's a difficult one, man. But I think again, it's like in the times that we live in, it's our understanding of success. What does success mean? How does success look like you? How does it look like to you? So I keep on thinking that we keep on painting one type of picture of success, and that's making it in a certain type of lane. And then once you make it, having certain type of products and materialistic things around you. So you've made it, you've got the big house, the big car, you know what I mean? You did this and that. So that today contributes to what people understand to be success. And then when you go to the people that have all those things, they tell you that really this hasn't made me happy. This hasn't been the pinnacle of my happiness. My happiness doesn't, it doesn't stay in the materialistic things that I have, whether it's my home or my house. And most of my happiness comes from kids coming back from school, spending time with the kids, family, being married, things like that. So I feel like we've got to get away from our understanding of what success really is.
And you know what it is for me? What's startling is that it's now the younger generation now kind of feeling it. You know, you would probably think it would be like a person in their middle-aged life. You know what I mean? Mid-20s, mid-30s. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like for me now, you're looking at teens now. You know, who would have thought that when we was growing up, man? You know what I mean? We didn't have the care in the world. You know,
100%.
and I feel like for me now, I don't know what is it with the young generation, but now it's almost as you have to succeed at an early age. You know, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I think it's similar to what you mentioned earlier when you said that everything's fast, and even example, if we take it back to what we do normally on this channel, we talk about football, like that even just at the pressures in terms of football now, before somebody could have a good game week in, week out and not put any numbers up, but we could see the eye test and say he's had a good game. And he hasn't had a lot of assists, he hasn't scored any goals, but just by seeing and viewing, his commitment to the team and how he's played, would say that someone's had a good game. But now you can't have a good game without putting numbers up. You have to put some type of numbers up for you to be, looked at as someone who's had a good game. And that's why someone like Bruno Fernandes can go 3 games without an assist and a goal, and all of a sudden he's had a bad game. But when did that become the criteria to someone having a good game? Because I've looked back at past seasons of Man United, and I've looked at the stats that Scholes put up. And compared to today, he didn't put up anywhere those numbers that we're seeing that some of the players that are putting up today. And we don't attribute any of those players today being anywhere close enough or at the level of Paul Scholes. But again, it's how we're viewing things and how we're judging things in this, era of documentation. Everything's documented now. You can't do anything without a document. It's all about stats and figures, and and it's even how we do in terms of the branding. Like we all got mobile phones, and you can see the amount of adverts that come up on your phone. That's all based on like stats and figures. How many times do you go on that? How many times do you search this? So everything's so documented it's just become difficult, man. So when you look at the lives of young people, man, their whole life's documented from every app, from TikTok, from Instagram to Snapchat. It's all documented. So it's
Yeah,
difficult.
man. I mean, Abdullah says here, my parents says to me, if I don't get a uni degree, I'm considered as a failure. Um, I think that that and there's another stigma, for young kids now is that the pressure to say, you know what, life is beyond GCSEs. If you don't get them GCSEs and you don't get them A levels, your life is finished. You know, so
No
I
one
just feel
tells
like
you you can do them. No one tells you. You know what I'm saying? That conversation isn't had, if you know what I mean. No one mentions that to you. How's my internet? It's quite good, to be honest. Yeah, that conversation isn't had. You're just told if you fail, it's as if you can't do your GCSEs again, like there isn't an avenue for you to do them again, or there isn't an avenue for you to do your A levels again, or to sit another degree. But when you get into the real world, you realize that there's lots of people who failed their GCSEs, they sat them
yeah,
again in college, and then they ended
yeah,
up getting the career and the job that they wanted in life. You know what I mean?
yeah. Absolutely, man, and now more than ever, this lockdown, man. You know what I mean? It's we've been locked down for a year now. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. For me, I've not. I wouldn't say I've not felt the lockdown, but I feel like for me, I'm always a positive person in terms of I always like to say to myself, if you've got people around you, you've got food, water, you've got people, you got a shelter above your head. You know what I mean? I'm very good. You know what I mean? There's other people in the world that don't have this. I see it as that kind of perspective, but for a lot of people now, man, lockdown is kind of killing people, man. You know what I mean? It's
100%, because
and
I
there's
feel
no
like
there's no help from the government. The government will give you money, man. That's the problem with this government, man. They say to you, "We'll give you this money for," what I mean. We'll give you this. We'll give you £500 to stay at home. All this nonsense. You know what I mean? But the reality is, man, you can't. Mental health doesn't come with a price. You know what I mean? It doesn't come with a price. Once you have it and you suffer from mental health, no money will make you happy, mate. You know what I mean? No
100%,
money will make you happy. And that's the reality, mate.
100%.
That's the reality, you know?
100%, man. I just feel like, as well, as human beings, like, I think sometimes we go away from our natural disposition of what we are and how we should be. We know as human beings, physical and a spiritual, and I feel like the times that we live in now, we just really all concentrate on the physical. You know what I mean? Not a lot of people understand the spiritual aspect of themselves, and being able to kind of plug out, like detach yourself from everything that's going on around you, and kind of deal with your spiritual and deal with your well-being and your mental health, because the mental aspect is a spiritual aspect, because it's something that only you understand. It's in your brain. It's not something that we can see. It's not a physical. It's not something that we can touch, or something that we have access to. Only you have access to your thoughts and to what runs through your brain. You know what I mean? And that's the spiritual thing. And I feel like a
Mm.
lot of the time, if you're not connected to the spiritual side of you, if you don't pray, you don't, and that's just, if you just don't have that, you know what I mean? Some people, what they do
Mm.
yoga, some
Is it
people
down to
meditate,
purpose? Your purpose
and
in life, you
purpose.
know what I mean?
That's it. Of
You have
course,
to
having
find
a
your
true
purpose for me.
purpose. Yeah, 100%. If you have a purpose and you understand what that is, and that purpose is connected to your spiritual and your physical, and the two together are one, and you're able to then maneuver correctly and think to yourself before you make a decision, is that not only right for my physical, but is that also right for my spiritual? Like, if I do this and I make this move, how is that going to play on my mind? When I walk away from taking this move or taking this job, or like, I might take this job and I earn the money that I want, and it's good for my physical because I'm able to buy stuff, and
Mm.
I'm able to buy stuff, and I'm able to look good, and I'm able to buy all the things that I want. So the job is good for your physical, but it might not be a job that's good for your spiritual, because it might not be something it might be something that plays heavy on your minds, the things that you do or whatever. It could be like, you could just be a bailiff, and you can't handle turning up every day and taking
Yeah.
people's possessions away. You earn good money from it,
Yep.
but by the time you go home and you think to yourself, right, that woman had kids, she had this, I know she didn't pay up, but you just don't want to be that guy who turns up every morning and takes people's things away. We're not saying she didn't do wrong or she should have paid it. We get all of the ins and outs of that. But for you as an individual, that might not work for you, and it might work for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So you really got to understand yourself. And I feel like a lot of people are not understanding their physical, their spiritual aspects of themselves enough. So they're finding themselves in situations where they walk away from things and they're just stressed and depressed, and then it just goes on and on and on.
Absolutely, man. And for me, you have to find. I've always said, man, you have to find your purpose, man. If you find your purpose in what you're doing and enjoy it, and then find something to kind of keep you occupied, and that's what will get you through these difficult times, because there's a lot of overthinking at the minute. There's overthinking of things of like you could have all the money in the world, but what are you going to spend with it? You can't go anywhere. You feel trapped, and I know I liked it. For me, there was a point where I was looking at the timing of this lockdown, and I was like to myself, the normality of what you used to do. I mean, is it normal anymore? What we're doing right now. Is this the normal life of what it was before, without phones, without what I mean? Like, is
No,
this a
because
normal life?
a load of people before, for example, we're Muslims, yeah. So there's certain things that we don't do, yeah, and other people doing it. It's our way of life. So, example, we don't go. Maybe someone might say I'm Muslim, I don't go clubbing, or I'm Muslim, I don't drink alcohol. So before, people will be like, but how? What would we do if the pubs closed, or what would we do if the nightclubs closed? We couldn't live. Comes Corona, nightclubs are closed, pubs are closed. But life goes on. Do you know what I'm trying to say? There's a lot of things that people thought before that they wouldn't be able to live with. Here comes this little corona disease. We can't even go to work. People have to work from home. People can't go. You know what I'm trying to say? Like cinemas have nearly been closed for how long? You know what I'm saying? Did we ever think that we would stop being able to go and watch like Marvel films and DC movies and big flicks? Like James Bond's been held back for over a year
Trust
because
me.
of this corona. Like big films are being held back because of the coronavirus. You know what I'm trying to say? Like things, so like the world can stop, and there is other ways to do things. And I feel like people are now only realizing it. And I just feel like, as much as we love football, and football's a downer for us, but when the game's over, we're looking for the next game, the next game, the next game. But away from that, what's our lives about? What's our purpose? What do we do? And I feel like, as a family here on the United Central, I think you've got a good, group of people who tune in and listen and participate. But like you said, I think it's also our duty to kind of show them love and take time out and just to listen what people are saying. Someone said, "What's one of the biggest obstacles that you've overcome in life, like difficult situations?" And I feel like I've had a lot of them, man. Growing up, being on the streets, being in gangs. One of the most difficult things I had to do was walk away from my peers, walk away from even
That's
the
a big one as
music.
well. The influence
Yeah,
in the gang culture. You know what I mean?
of course, gang culture. Just telling your band them that you don't want to do it no more. You don't want to be on the roads. You want a different life. You want to change. And everyone's like, "Well, come on. Are you sure? Like, are you gonna get paid? Are you gonna make money? Like, are you sure? Like, you're gonna work and get peanuts? Like, we're used to earning £1,000 a day. Like, where you gonna go and work and earn only a couple thousand a month when we can do that in a couple? Do you know what I mean? And people are talking that talk, and all of that is difficult. And I feel like that was one of the most difficult things I had to do, because it was a brotherhood. It was people that I grew up with, people that I spent years, like like over 10 years of my life with, every day coming out, meeting them, going out, and then to just say, I don't want to do this no more, and then embrace a whole different culture of people who you don't even know. Some of them don't even like you. They don't even want you. They got a lot to say. They don't embrace you. You still got to be strong and make those decisions, only to get there. And sometimes it's not what you thought, but you got to be decisive in the moves that you make as an individual, and you got to know what's good for you, man. And sometimes change is difficult, man. Change is definitely hard. I won't BS anyone and be like, no, it's easy. No, it's not easy. You got to be strong. You got to kind of be ambitious. You got to be dedicated, disciplined. You got to be determined. You know what I mean? To want to do it, and you got to know that you're doing it for yourself foremost than anyone else. You know what I mean?
And that's why we call it, like, mad in the Dunya, because this Dunya is crazy, man. It has a lot of trials and tribulations, and I feel like for me, there's a lot of obstacles in there. And I feel like for me, mental strength in terms of being mentally strong, I feel like for me, that's the biggest thing I've ever learned, mate. bro. And I'll be honest with you, man. I mean, looking after your mind, looking after the peace, you know what I mean? And just coming from the fake
man.
reality, man. There's a lot of fake reality
Yeah,
out there, man. Come and step away
yeah,
from that fake reality. I'm telling you
it's
now, man, there's a
fake.
lot of people who are on social media right now and they see life as social media. You go out the door
Yeah,
and life is not the way people speak to you on wherever social media you're on is not the life when you go outside. It's not.
yeah, they're
And
not.
that's the
The
problem.
Matrix.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
people
that's
are
why
caught up
for
in the
me,
Matrix. They are. A
yeah.
lot of people are in the Matrix. They don't really get it. They think, and this is why I tell people, like, I got a lot of guys that I just chat to and I grew up with, and some of them are like, you know what I mean, because they're older, they're in their mid 30s, late 30s. They don't. The social media world is not. It's not the best. They don't have the best understanding of it. So sometimes, like, when I see them doing crazy things online, I got to message them in their DMs and like, you know, you're arguing with like a 13 or 14-year-old that's sitting at home in his house and you're having this big old argument with him,
But
a
you don't know where they are
conversation.
though. They could be in a
Yeah,
house where the lights not on. They could be in an
yeah,
environment where they're not paying their bills in 2 weeks. You don't know what a
yeah,
reality of as a person, you
of
know?
course.
And that's why for me, as a character, as yourself, you know what I mean? And that's one advice I say for people who are suffering from mental health or see when that image of people you don't want your kind of level to go down to
Mm,
level. It's just don't interact with them, you know. Don't see yourself as a person who, you know, values other opinions. You know what I mean? The people
yeah,
around you know
yeah,
your character. You know,
yeah, yeah.
people around
100%.
you know
I
your
agree with
character.
that.
They know who you are. And that's why for me, in 2021, man, I said to myself, man, there's one thing I'm gonna do, and I've never done this before, is value myself and let people change my character, you know,
Yeah,
change
yeah,
the person I am. I know who I am. You know who I am. People around me know who I am that lived for me for 20. I'm 27. They've lived for me for 27 years. They know
yeah,
who I
yeah.
am. Do you know what I mean? And then I've come onto social media and I've realized that I was changing myself for people to like me. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And I said to myself, why am I doing this? You know,
No,
and then,
no,
and
no,
then you
no.
say to
You don't
yourself,
do
you
that.
know, exactly. Then you say to yourself, and you reflect on it, and and you say to yourself, but why though? You know what I mean? You are who you are. You were here before social media, and you're here without it. You know, and for me, I said to myself, you know what? There's a life to live out there, and there's a real reality of life. The reality I see online and everywhere, and all this commotion is not the reality, mate. The reality is not, you know, when you're praying your 5 times a day. You know what I mean? You know, this is just a reality. When you got to you know, go get, you know, your food shopping from your grandma. That's the reality. When you got to do stuff for other people and you got to help out in the community. That's the reality. You know,
That's reality. That's the
helping
reality, man.
charities. That's the reality.
That's
You
the
know, there's a lot
reality,
of
man.
things online that it's a false reality. You know what I mean?
It's
Chasing
not.
all this and likes and all this and that, man.
It's not.
This is a false
You
reality.
can't. Yeah, it's long, man. It's not like getting all these likes online, but like you said, your mum don't like you. You know what I mean? That's not reality. That's not real. Like getting all these likes online, but your own family members and the people around you, your kids, your loved one, your wife, your husband, whoever, you can't
Telling you,
be
man.
getting all these likes and the people at home and at heart, they don't like you. You know what I mean? They don't want to be around you. You're not the person that, you know what I mean? That's not reality, and that's not realism. So I feel like this validation that people are getting from online, like there's people who like they do things like they won't post pictures online unless they look a certain way, and they won't keep online unless they get a certain amount of likes and all of this stuff. It's just this validation, and
That's
I
the
feel
key
like
thing, man. The validation in life, you know what I mean? That's one I think, you know, it's the biggest thing that people suffer from in terms of, you know,
yeah,
that's another kind of a sub chain to mental
yeah,
health, you know, the validation of, you know, people to like
yeah.
you
So not
know,
believing in yourself unless other people validate that belief. So
yes.
you might think I've got a good idea. I'm gonna start my own podcast, or I'm gonna start my own show. I'm gonna start my own brand. And what I want to do, I want to change how people look at certain things. And everyone's like, "No, that won't work. That won't." So you what? You give up. No, brother. It's not about what other people think or say, because most people where they are now. An example: look at Netflix. They went to Blockbuster when Blockbuster was the main, video best place for you to go. A lot of the young bucks won't know what Blockbuster is. Blockbuster was where
Yo, big
you
up.
went. Yeah,
Yeah.
Blockbuster was the one. If you add VR, viewers again, VCR is it? What the video tape things called again? VR.
VCR, VCR.
Yeah, VCR. If you wanted to watch a video You get your Blockbuster card, you go down to Blockbusters, you watch it. When
Yeah.
Netflix went to them and said, "Yeah, invest in us," what did Blockbuster say? Nah, bro, we're comfortable, mate. We got everything unlocked. They didn't, they didn't believe. What did Netflix do? Did Netflix say, the biggest video renting company in the world isn't believing in us, we're gonna quit? They said, okay, we believe that things are gonna change. It's gonna be online. It's gonna be streaming. It's not gonna be that. Now look at Netflix, changing the game, creating their own award shows and being a part of this and being a part of that. So people move. We see this all the time. We look at WhatsApp. WhatsApp went to Facebook, said, look, I want to work for you. I've got this app. I want to create it. They said, nah. 10 years down the line, how much does Facebook have to pay WhatsApp for that same app that they would have got for free if they took the man on? Now they want to play billions for the same app. It happens all the time, but people have faith and belief in themselves and in their products and in what they're doing. They
That's
don't
a
wait.
belief. The belief is a key thing, man. I believe in who I am. You know what I mean? I believe that for me, you know what I mean, what we're doing right now, it doesn't define who I am, but I still believe that, you know, there is success from it. You know, I think a lot of people lack self-belief. You know, there's a lot of validation from other people to say, you know what, you're good enough. You know, one comment can destroy someone, you know. I've seen this in this industry, man. One comment I say you're rubbish from a guy who's got a clone account. You know, that's probably, you know what I mean, is a person who is a low self-esteem and he's trying to put other people down. And I feel like that for me is the biggest, you know, thing you can come out from this. Have self-belief, people, man. You know, believe in your vision. You know what I mean? This guy says here, believe in your vision. You know, believe in what you can do. Like, you know, you got a charity now in Resole. You know what I mean? You're sponsored by Puma and all this. You know what I mean? But did you know what I mean? When you thought of that reality first, it's a process.
It's a process. You gotta believe in your process because, like you said, when you start at the beginning and you're doing something, some people might be like, "What are you gonna change doing that?" Or how do you expect to change anything doing that? Everyone's always gonna doubt and everyone's gonna speak. But when you believe in your process and you believe in what you're doing, and ultimately what you're doing is a greater good and has a greater meaning than yourself, and that you're trying to change the livelihood or the ways of other people, it's bigger than yourself. Whether you're doing something and you think to yourself that you want to make your mum's life better, your family lives better, your brother's lives better, your sister's like you're doing it and it's bigger than you. It's not just about you, and you have that goal, that ambition, that belief, then you're going to work as hard as possible regardless of what people say. And if you believe in the process, and the process, like, show me a process that hasn't been hard. Go and listen to someone like Cristiano Ronaldo and he'll tell you that. We've seen the pictures of him in Portugal. The man's looking through fences like his life is rough. And I'm saying teeth are not straight, difficult. And now look at Ronaldo. You know what I'm trying to say? And that's been hard work. Look at Messi's life. Messi had to have operations after operations because he had bow legs. His legs weren't straight, and Barcelona invested in him, and they didn't think he would be able to walk straight, let alone be able to play football and be named as one of the greatest players to ever walk on a pitch. He was too short. Like, you can't be Messi's height on a pitch that small and think it's easy for you to make it in a real football world where it's all about pace and strength and height. And like 90% of managers don't pick players of Messi's stature. Look at our manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. If you're short, small, not big, he wants tall players like Pogba, McTominay, Matic, and Hyatt and Jose. All of these managers want that. All of these type of small players never had a look in, but they had to believe in themselves. And what they had to do, they had to show that they had more ability over the big, strong, powerful players. They had to show that they had more skill. You know what I'm saying? They had to show that they had better touches, better everything for them to be able to be in a position where they are today. And now they're some of the best players in the world, the Bernardo Silvas, the David Silvas, Mata, and all of that. But in football before, that type of build wasn't like, you have to do so much to be able to get picked over someone who's tall, strong, and powerful, over someone who's small and nimble. They say he's not big enough. He needs to get on the weights. The game's too strong for him. There's always stuff. And these players, they get at it. So it's all about self-belief, man. People are always going to doubt you. You always have something to say.
And it's overcoming the doubters, you know what I mean? Or overcoming, you know, the obstacles, you know what I mean? And, you know, that can change you as a person when you know, overcome them few obstacles, you know what I mean? The tricky roads, the rainy days, the kind
Of
of
course it is.
them kind of moments, and I feel like, in this generation now we're living in, there's so many things that can help people, and a lot of people don't use it to their advantage. If you're looking at 10 years ago, mate, you wouldn't have all this, you wouldn't have advice on how to do an interview. Now you can go online and you can say, you can find out 5 ways to
Yeah,
successfully pass an interview.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Honestly,
There
man,
is.
it's crazy, man. You got so many things nowadays. Back in the day where
So
if you were going to somewhere, you'd have to ask people or go to places, and now you got Google Maps, and it's firing out all places. So I feel like
yeah.
the kind of trial and tribulations in this world, especially for the lockdown period, not having to
Mm.
go anywhere. How would you say to people, to kind of you know what would I say, like train their mental side of it, like a lot of reading is helpful and beneficial. I've been
Reading
listening
is
to a lot
good,
of
man.
podcasts, man, a lot of
Reading is
podcasts.
good. I think reading's good and listening. And I feel like the mind is like anything, feeding it positive
Yeah,
um, ideas. So listen to things that are positive. Don't just sit there listening to negative things all day. And I feel like that's the problem with social media. There's a lot of negativity on there as much as there's positivity. And I
man.
feel like
I
too
feel like
much like people.
yeah, and I feel like there's a lot of cancel culture as well. As
Yeah,
soon as
yeah,
you do one thing bad, you know what I mean? You're cancelled already, mate. No matter how long you've done it. That's one thing I've learned this
negative.
lockdown, mate. There's a lot of people searching for people's, kind of wrongdoings that were like 5, 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Like
saying. It's negative. There's a lot of negativity. Like people are just negative and negative, and I feel like if you keep on feeding your brain this negativity, example, if you look at the COVID situation, um, after COVID, after the first like example, let's see, the first 8 months or the first 6 months of COVID, they looked at how many deaths we had the same time before COVID. If this time last year, how many people had died in the United Kingdom? Was it more or less? And the same amount of people that died last year, example in June, and the year that we had COVID, the exact same amount of people died that same year. So like the deaths of COVID hadn't increased the overall number of deaths that we have on a yearly basis in the United Kingdom. But had you just looked on the TV, the news channel that had all the COVID deaths going up every day, all that negative stuff, we got 1,000 people today, 2,000, 4,000, 5, all those numbers, and that's all you're seeing. All you're thinking is, hold on, people are just dying every minute. And you're looking at that thinking as if it's something new, not knowing that like this has been the numbers anyway. Like example, imagine if on the news they showed us the amount of people that died in car accidents every day, or people
yeah,
that died from food poisoning every day. We wouldn't even want to get in cars. You know what I'm saying? But
trust.
they don't put those numbers on there. So that negative thing that
Yeah,
they done, and
only
they done
scaremongering,
that,
isn't it? It's
it's
scaremongering.
scaremongering because they are dying. We're not saying it's not happening, but how about you do that with car crashes and let us know how many people die every day in car accidents and how many people die from accidents and food poisoning and stuff like that, or allergies, like people who are not meant to eat nuts and they eat nuts. How many people are dying
Yeah,
from?
trust
If
me,
you
bro.
show us those numbers, yeah, like we might. So what we're trying to say, cool, we get it. You're showing us these numbers so we don't leave our houses because you don't want us to spread COVID. But at the same time, it's negative because you're just showing us deaths after day. And like you said, that caused a lot of depression and stress for a lot of people. They didn't want to come out their house, and it caused a lot of anxiety. A lot of people started getting anxiety, thinking,
Mm.
how if I get COVID, what's going to happen, this and that. And I just feel like it's sad because in that period of time, even because the thing about depression is that a lot of the people think that if life is good, example, they might see you, Saeed,
Mm.
you got your own YouTube channel, you're doing your thing, it's all good. So when they look at someone like you, they think Saeed can't be depressed, or someone might see me and think, oh, Moosa's got these
Yeah,
things going on. People think that they can spot it, and people don't know that unless you ask, you'll never know. Anyone can be going through it. It's not, there isn't a certain type of look
no,
to it.
there's no silence, is there? You know what I mean?
That's it.
It can be behind the face. You know what I mean? I could be smiling right now, but inside you, you know what I mean? You're kind of
That's
you're
it.
depressed inside. You know what I mean? You don't know what's going on. You don't have no feelings towards life. There's an emptiness in you. You
That's
know?
it. And we had that with Jesse Lingard. We saw it
Yeah,
with players that were going through it because a lot of people don't get it. They think they're footballers, they got money, what are they depressed about? People don't get it. A lot of people are going through a lot of things with their family members, their kids, their misses, you know, parents, people are passing away. Like you said, there's no signs to it. You don't know who's going through what. So it's different, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like for me, you know, that's the kind of depression state for people, you know, it's very, very, you know, it's almost a case of, you know, does anyone want to help out there? You know, do you know what I mean? You put something out there, and you know what they say, people are only there when you're winning. You know what I mean? Not many people are
Yeah,
there
that's true.
when the times are down, mate. You know, nobody wants to give you that phone call. They say I'm too busy. You know what I mean? Call me
Yeah,
later.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And the kind of a thing where, you know, for me, I always do this, but I always like just drop a text in 1 week and say, you know what, you're good, man. You know what I mean? It's free, man.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Just
it's
to say,
free.
okay, have your
It's
phone
free.
calls. You know what I mean? A lot of people are on this like 24 hours a day, man. Like that,
Yeah,
bro. You know what I mean?
yeah,
They
but
don't know
then
what's going on, man. You know what I mean? They don't know what's
they're
happening in
on
the
their
world.
phone. Yeah,
And
they're on their phone all day, but they don't message people to check in. Are you all
yo,
right? What's
trust me,
going
man.
on? You know
Trust
what
me,
I
like
mean?
there's people online, man. They don't, you know, they have free calls and free text, but they don't use it.
They
You
don't
know what
use
I mean?
it.
That's why that no wonder
But
why
that's
these
like,
give us free calls, man.
but it's free, and on that, it's like everyone that's watching here, it's free. Press the like button. Just press the like button.
Trust me,
It's
man. Press the
free.
like
Just
button.
press the like button. It's not going to charge you nothing. It's just showing love. Just do it. And that's
Yeah.
the same way as just messaging
Is there,
someone. It doesn't
is
cost
there a
nothing,
reason?
man.
Is there a reason why, you know, all these phone companies have said, you know what, take the you know what I mean, is there a reason why, this is a better way I put it, is there a reason why data is now more important than phone and text messages now? You know, the data now is more
Yeah,
important. You know, when you tell a
yeah,
kid now, and you tell a kid now, yo, listen, I'm gonna get you a phone, you get unlimited text, and you get unlimited calls. They're like, nah, but has it got unlimited data? That's all they care
yeah.
about
It's
nowadays.
data. They don't care about the calls because no one talks. No one says anything no more because they just want to
Trust me,
scream.
man.
It's
You know,
just for the computer access, and it's basically a small computer just to be online. And this is why I keep on telling someone. I think if they make a device that can't make no calls, can't make no nothing, all it can do is like WhatsApp and streaming.
that
It's
phone's
gonna
in the
go
bin.
like, yeah, that's it. Phones are gone because people are not on it. Some people are gonna say, you know, I don't even need my phone. I want to talk to no one today. Hit me on WhatsApp, and that's it. You know what I
It's, you
mean?
know
Like,
what, even group chats nowadays, you know, when you look at group chats or WhatsApp messages, it's very, very selective. You know what I mean? People want to be in and out there. You know, you can put a message out there and it's about 30 people in that chat and no one wants to, nobody answers. And then you see
no
them, they're
one, man.
on Insta, on Twitter, and they're
No, no
saying
one.
they're on there. And I feel like for me, you know, Anna says it here right there, they're attracted to the clout, man. A lot of people are on there, man. They want to be boom, you know, and that's the
Yeah,
thing, you know. And I feel like, you know, just talking to people nowadays, they're kind of like, you know, for me, what's kind of gone on with like, you know, and it helps with mental health. And for me, it's probably one thing that's kind of, you know, a lot of people are suffering from more than ever is just a kind of social interaction of, you know, when you
yeah,
go to like a meal, you know, if you've been to like a meal and you've not seen your boys for like about 2 weeks, yeah.
yeah.
As you get there, bro, everyone's on their
Phones
phones.
out. Yeah,
Nobody wants to talk to each other, man. Nobody wants to say,
yeah.
yo,
Phones
listen,
out.
how's it
So why
going?
do we
How's your
meet?
week been?
Yeah, yeah. So
What's
why do we meet up?
man? What is this done? What has happened is to this Dunya where you could just have a chat, have a crack banter, you know what I mean? How people are, you know, how are you doing? You know what I mean? Find out what the real you is, man. Instead of telling what
People want
people
to find out. That's why people like what the way it's like. Does everyone own a business? Is everyone like? Does everyone have their own big, massive corporate business where they're on call all minute? Because if you don't have that, then what you doing? So like, what's your life about? What you feeding into? Because a lot of the time you find that a lot of us we're customers. You know what I mean? And people don't get it. If you're on social media and you have a Instagram or WhatsApp, you're a customer because Instagram and Facebook and that they sell your data. You know what I mean? Your data is used to buy products. This is why when you're online, you're getting like mad like have you ever seen that you think or you mention that you want to buy something or you search for something, next minute it just pops up on your screen?
yeah,
Like looking for something.
absolutely.
Yeah. And that's because you're a customer to all of these platforms that you're on. They're using your data, and then next minute they're all connected somehow. Next minute you're just on your gram, and all of a sudden you mention PS5, and that is PS5 just turning up all over your feed. You know what I'm trying to say, or you mention something, and yeah, man, it's mad.
You know what it is? It's a crazy kind of culture we live in right now. You know, as someone says, hey, you just look at the bus and everyone's on their phones. You know what I mean? I understand. You know what I mean? You can't just talk to a stranger, but you know what I mean? You
But
put your
growing
phone.
up, when I was growing up, people spoke. You knew your neighbors. Everyone
Yeah,
knew each other. Now, man, don't know their neighbors.
bro.
Everyone's
I'm
just
not gonna
like,
lie to you, bro.
boy,
I'm not gonna lie to you. I live in a neighborhood and I think there's only one neighbor. You know, actually two that speak to each other. I'll be honest with you.
yeah,
One of them because it's football, and two of them,
yeah.
the other one across the street is because we grew up together. You know what I mean? We're in the
All
same
the
neighborhood.
neighbors I talk to, it's because
Yo,
of
we're not the
football.
talkers in the neighborhood, bro. Like the neighbor next to you, bro. You don't. I don't
You
know who
don't
they are, bro.
know.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Like, I,
All we do
all,
is Ramadan. Ramadan. We just
yeah,
exchange
Ramadan.
food in Ramadan.
You just
You know what I mean?
exchange food.
I'm
That's
telling
it.
you, bro. That's all we
Just see
do, man.
Ramadan.
I don't know. I don't
Ramadan,
see.
everyone.
I'm telling you, bro. We just exchange food in Ramadan, bro. The
And
sambusa,
that's
the
it.
sambusa, you know
The
the malawak,
samosas come out,
you know
yeah. They come out in Ramadan, and that's about it.
bro, that's
That's
when they
the
come
truth,
out,
man.
man. They start saying hello, hello. Let's
Yeah,
tarawih time. You
iftar,
know,
cut away, iftar. That's it, and that's the reality. Because
man.
now
That was it.
we don't know it. That's the truth. All my neighbors that I know is football based, and if it's football, if it's not football, I don't know them. You know what I mean? I don't know them. If it's not like, because I got a neighbor who's like a Leeds United supporter, so we'll have a bit of banter, and that's it. Anyone else, I don't chat to them because he sees me in my Man United tops, and he's like, "Why are you wearing that toilet paper?" And I'm like, "What?" That's how we started talking.
That's what
Is
I'm
that
saying, to you,
you know
bro.
what I mean? But if it's not that,
Yeah.
nothing at all.
And I feel like for me, shout out to everybody who's in the building. We've got 200 people live, man. Get me. Shout out to everybody who's tuning in. I know you guys want to see is talking about United, but sometimes you have to step out and be talking about what's happening in reality, man. And we're gonna keep doing this every weekly, guys. So please, guys, smash a like on the video, share the video. You know, I even look at to the point where when you got families and that, man. Like, there's certain moments where 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you'd be speaking to families. Now, bro, you know what I mean? Even I'm part of the problem as well. You
Yeah,
don't speak to your cousins, your close
yeah.
families. You know what I mean?
It's sad.
Everyone's
I'm the
distant.
truth.
It's
Everyone's
only on
distant, and you
like
know
a
what it
chat.
is? Someone said the more technology we get to bring us closer, the more distant we become. You know what
Wow,
I'm
that's
saying? And that's deep.
bro.
Yeah,
You got messages, bro. That's why, innit? You got
yeah,
FaceTime. You
yeah.
know,
The more
that's
distant we become, like the more technology that they've got, oh, this technology brings you closer. So all of a sudden it's like, oh, I see my man on my phone every day. So why am I gonna go and check him? Like he messages me every day. Why do I need to go and sit down and have a proper conversation? And this is why you're saying when we come and sit down and you haven't seen your boys for 2 weeks, you might not have seen them for 2 weeks, but you've been chatting to them every day. So that you
bro.
get there and there's nothing to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Because everything you post, they've seen it, they comment, they laugh, everything. Back in the day, you would have been able to sit down and say to your friend, "Do you know what happened last week? It was mad." Da, da, da. But he's seen everything that happened last week because it's on the socials.
Bro, I'm
You know what
telling
I'm
you, man.
saying?
Even
So
to the point where you used to go and have them sleepovers and that. You know what I mean? Even them
yeah,
now, kids are not encouraged to do that, man. You know what I mean? It's a case of
nah,
what that,
it's
and that's what
changed.
made my kind of childhood, man, for what it is.
Yeah,
Kids don't want to take the when you say you've got to do things at school and whatnot, but after school is where you need to build up that kind of community spirit, and it's
yeah.
not there, man. And it's not there.
It's
That's a
not
sad reality of life now, man. We're
sad.
not even talking to people. That's the thing, but we're not talking to people, man. For me now, I've especially in the last 2 or 3 years, man, I've started to just communicate more. I kind of have that feeling of, you know what, I'm gonna go see that person, we go for a coffee or whatnot, have that social interaction. You have 24 hours in a day, use it, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I tell people that. Yeah, and I get it. Sometimes too many people are living in validation for others. Hence, everyone's on social media on a look at what I'm doing. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
people be on social media just to see what you're up to. They don't even, and that's what they said. Someone left a post and they said that be careful of people who watch everything you post but never congratulate you on anything that you do. So they see everything, but they don't
Yeah.
congratulate you. They don't say like, "Well done." You know what I'm saying? Happy on your this or your that. But you can see that they're watching everything that you're doing and they're just there. And it's just the
And
times that we live in.
you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people who, you know. And I feel like for me, it's good for mental health to know that people are supporting you. You know what I mean? And I don't want to lie to you, man. I get more love from people who don't know me, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. And that's the crazy thing about it, man. You know what I'm trying to say to you. And there is people out there that do support you. You got your family that do support you, but there's people that have been living with you for 20 years. They don't know what you're doing, or you know, they might see your thing, but they won't, you know, be support it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
100%.
I always rate the people who support it without you telling them.
100%,
You know
100%, because that's it. They get it and a lot of the time, this is what I tell people, like, cool, it's just about being around like-minded people, because somebody who's created a channel and who's pure-hearted, and they know the difficulties of creating a channel and building your fan base, because they know how hard it was. When they see you do it and achieve it, they'll congratulate you. They'll be like, well done, bro, because they know it's hard. It's not easy. It's difficult. But a lot of the time, the question you have to ask yourself is that when you're doing something good, there's always going to be haters. When you're trying to achieve, there's always going to be haters. But the question you have to ask yourself, as someone that's trying to achieve and trying to do something good, would you swap yourself to be in a position of the hater? You wouldn't swap. So the fact that you wouldn't swap, let them hate, because they want what you got. They want to be where you are. And that's what a lot of people do. They want to put you down. They want to comment. They want to do this. Like, example, you're going to uni to do a degree that's difficult. And people are telling you, oh, that's so difficult. Why didn't you choose another one? That's going to be well, you can choose another one, because you don't have no faith. You don't have no belief. I'm going to do this.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the biggest one. Man. That's the biggest one. You know what I mean? A lot of people putting people down for making decisions, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I think the best way for people to give is constructive advice. You know,
100%.
I feel like 2020 has been a negative year, man. I'm not gonna lie, it's been probably the most. I don't know if it's just down to the lockdown or down to, you know, I think people like cancel culture. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that are hating and they're very envy.
People are just at home. People are all at home. No one's going to work. No one's going to uni, college, or anything. People have their phones. That people are waking up to their phones, going to sleep on their phones. They're just on their phones. So any hype they can jump on, and anyone they can. And you know what's so sad about the cancel culture is this: people will cancel you on the fact and the basis of fake news and fake evidence, and when they find out, they don't apologize. They just move on. As soon as people realize that, oh, what's been said and done is not true, and then you're not cancelled, no one comes out and says, oh, we were wrong, blah blah. They just move on to the next person that they want to jump on. You know what I'm saying? There's no apologizing. Nobody wants to take ownership of their wrongs or their misunderstandings or anything like that. Like, someone might come to you and say, oh, Saeed, you know, we don't like what you're doing with the Man United, blah, blah. You're putting out, we heard you said this. When they find out you didn't say that and that wasn't your opinion, where's their public apology? Where's the public apology?
Absolutely, man. And I always say to the people, you know, a lot of people can be, you know what I mean, can dislike what I say about certain topics about Man United, but I feel like people have not realized the power of opinion. You know what I mean? I do not represent the whole of Man United fan base. Same with an opinion on Twitter doesn't represent the whole of a certain, you know, characterization of his sort of people. You know what I mean? I think for people in this kind of reality, they need to accept, you know, that opinions are, you know, what would I say? You know what I mean? It's just an opinion of, you know, themselves.
Opinions are something that are accepted or rejected. Just take
That's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, that's an opinion. You accept it or reject it. It's take a pick. It's not. It's like if someone offers you a glass of drink or glass of water or a drink, accept it or decline. Don't get angry because I offered it to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't get angry. If I say, oh, you want a drink there, mate? You say, no, I'm sweet, I'm good. Yeah, I'll have some. Don't get angry. Why are you offering me a drink? Do I look like, well, you don't get angry. You know what I'm saying? It's not about being angry. You just accept it or reject it. Some people are going to accept what we say. Some people are not going to like what we say. That's just life. You know what I'm trying to say? So
in terms of the haters, in terms of, you know, how it affects mental health, you know what I mean? I always say to people, man, you know what I mean? Like, they want to be where you are. You know, they want to be where what you're doing. They want a taste of you. And for me, they don't know you, man. The most of the haters here, you'll never ever come into contact with them ever.
Never.
And I mean ever, man. I'm telling you right now, you'll never see them ever in your life, mate.
Or you do see them, but they will never tell you. It's
Never,
them.
man.
They'll
Never,
be like,
man.
yo, what's going on, Saeed? I love what you're doing. Keep it up, bro. Love it.
I see them, man. I see them people, man.
That's the
You know what I
haters
mean?
right there. That's
I've seen
them.
your haters are your you know what it is here? What did it say? Your haters are your best people, your best fans.
Yeah, they're
You
your
know what I
best
mean?
fans.
They're your best fans, bro. I'm telling you, man. The haters are your best fans because at the end of the day, they're the ones who, you know what I mean, bring the traffic to your stuff. They're the ones that will comment. They're the ones that will like your stuff. They're the ones that you will kind of give that kind of the algorithms to your favor.
Yeah.
They're motivators, man. So what I do is, what I do as a person is I use it to my advantage. And I always say to myself, these man, that are hating on you right now, they just know that, you get me, if they were in your position, mate, you know, they'd be as happy as they are, but they haven't got that, bro.
Yeah.
And I
always tell my haters, I'm trying to buy them a gift. Just let me know who you are so I can send it.
I'm telling you, bro. And one thing I always say with haters, and I feel like for me, you know, it's a different reality to the dunya. I'm telling you right now, man. The fake reality is online. The real reality is love, man. Whenever you're gonna get a guy to come up to you and say, "Yo, listen, I despise you. You're a this and that. Listen, mate. It's never happened to me once, mate.
Yeah,
it's never happened. Okay, in the football ground because at the end of the day, it's close proximity, and them man they don't like you. Whether it's racial, whether it's whatnot, they don't know it. We don't know. But I'm telling you right now, you live in an urban area. I live in an urban area, mate. You know what I mean? I live people that have culture. You know what I mean, bro? So the culture are always with you. There's no hate now, bro. It might be silent hate behind the closed doors, but at least one-to-one, bro. There's all love out here, man. Especially 100%. If you live in a community, it's already made of love. You know what I mean? Especially a diverse community. That's why I love being in a diverse community because at the end of the day, you see different things, different stats of reality. A lot of people who are hating, they live in a kind of reality that is very, very like, you know, one-sided. You know what I mean? One race, it could be one kind of you know, way of living. It could be one kind of
because their stuff is dictatorship. It's my way or the highway. It's dictatorship. You know, there's no room for opinions. Like, this is what we do. This is how we're raised. This is how we support United. This is how we do this. Blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? So it's nuts. So I just feel like the main thing from this, what's this chat here?
Yeah. Hi, Sai. Love the videos, bro. Amazing work. That's helped my mental health. I never give up. Show who you are, strong. Make sure you put your confidence down to show them who you are. Absolutely, man. That's the thing for me. I never shy away from that, mate. That's why I come back there and there again, mate. Because I know, that my character, you know what I mean, never changes, man. Anything I do say, good or bad, comes from my heart, you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? I feel like you have to be yourself, mate. I've never ever gone and said to myself, you know what, I'm going to be someone to kind of please the audience, please the mass favorites, you know what I mean? I'll say an opinion that I will say to Moosa after this stream. You know what I mean? I won't go away from my character. Yeah, that's the thing for me. Do not change your character. That's what always
the character is important,
man. I'm telling you now.
There's a statement as well I live by, and it always says that you know, take care of your character, or take care of your character, and your reputation will take care of itself. You know what I'm saying? It says take care of your character, and your reputation will take care of itself, because your reputation is based on your character and who you are. So if you just take care of your character and own yourself, then 9 out of 10 people that come across you every day, they will spread your reputation. They'll be like, "Nah, Saeed, he's a good guy. Every time I spit down," but that's your character. No one can't take that away from you. You know what I'm trying to say? So, you know, 9 out of 10 people that people will ask about you, they will all say the same thing, because that's your character. So I always tell people, and that's what I live by. You know, take care of your character, and your reputation will take care of itself.
And that's the main thing I think a lot of people don't realize. You know what I mean? The what we see, what we're dealing with in the fake reality doesn't coincide with what's happening right now, and that's the biggest thing. You know what I mean? When you leave that, your mom and dad know who you are, no matter what you're doing on social media. They know who you are. You know what I mean? The people around you know who you are. Your work colleagues know who you are. They know your character. So don't try and change for people who don't know you.
100%.
Don't ever try and change. And that's what a lot of people do to kind of, you know, and it doesn't help their mental health. You know, they try and change their character to benefit others.
You know? You
You
can't,
can't
and
do
this is what
that.
people say. People always say, how many dogs do you see acting like cats, and how many cats are acting like dogs, and how many you are who you are. You know what I'm trying to say? Don't start trying to act out of character. Be you. Don't be in spaces because nobody likes that. Even people who are, could example, are classified out as your haters. They might see someone thinking, right, you don't say that to his face, so why are you saying it to me? Like, be real. People will
Mm,
tell you, like, nobody likes people that's not real. Nobody likes it. And this is why, example, in brackets, people say that even police don't like snitches because people just want you to be honest. Be you. Be you. Don't go and do the crime. You don't want to do the time. Be you.
yeah.
Be real. You know what I'm
And
saying? Like,
also,
go on.
Musa, I think the biggest one for me, out of the whole kind of, this kind of talk we have had for the last hour, self-love, mate. Self
Self-love.
For me, that's the biggest thing I've ever taught myself.
Self-love.
Listen, I've listened to many podcasts, I've listened to read many books about self-love. That's the most
Self-love.
powerful thing you will ever take away out of this talk, mate. Love yourself, mate.
Well-being. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Well-being, mental well-being.
well-being,
Look after yourself
look
and,
after yourself, man.
self-love and well-being because nobody, like, example, like, if you don't love yourself, how do you expect anyone else to?
Mm,
If you don't love yourself, if you don't like yourself, how do you expect somebody else to? Because you're trying to sell that to somebody else, to people. Like, you know what I mean? You're getting friends and stuff like that, and people are being your friends and they like you. But if it's like me not
yeah.
supporting Man United and trying to get other people to support them. They'll be like, you don't even support them. What are you trying to get me to support them for? You know what I'm saying? You
Mm,
gotta love yourself, man. Be you. Appreciate yourself. Don't worry about what anyone else says. Don't worry what anyone else does or doesn't do, or what they are and what they're not doing. This is like the turtle and the tortoise and the hare. This is a
mm.
marathon, man. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
And that's the thing, I mean? I think for me, that's the biggest thing I've taught myself, man. If you can love yourself, man, that's for me 90% done. You know what I mean? The
Yeah,
10% will come.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
If
Because
you can love yourself,
if you love yourself, you're not gonna let no one take liberties out of you. You're not
no
gonna let
one,
people
nobody,
walk over you.
not even a comment. What somebody
No
says
comment.
down
No,
in
no.
Essex, you know what I mean? Down in Essex in a basement with no lighting on, you know what I mean? And he can't pay his rent, his bills, man. Not one
Yeah.
person can put you down, mate. Because all these
No.
people that are doing this, they don't know your character. So why would you want to change yourself and say, I'm gonna, use that kind of validation from someone else and let it
They don't
affect you,
know
man.
you. They
They
don't
don't
know
know you,
you.
man. They don't
They
know
don't know
you. They
your
don't know who you
race.
are.
They don't know who you are. They don't know your family. They don't know your race. They don't know what you've been through. They don't know what you've achieved. They don't know what ups and downs. They don't know. They just see one post online, one opinion, and then they
Yeah,
think they got the right to. Nah, brother, accept it or reject it. Like I said, opinions are accepted or
yeah,
rejected, and that's the end of it. Don't make it personal. Don't get into a fight over
yeah.
it. Accept my opinion and say, yeah, brother, I agree with you. Or you say, no, I disagree. I kindly disagree. Yeah, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's not a
And,
problem. So
and
respect
that's how you
yourself,
step
people,
out.
man.
And that's how you step out of any kind of negativity. You know what I mean? Just the thought process will always be positive. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm not going to deny to you, there will be ups and downs, but it's how
Hundred
you lift
percent.
yourself from them downs. You know what I mean? Them kind of
100%.
barriers that will come. There will be trials and tribulations. That's what I call it, trials and
Hundred
tribulations. There will be
percent.
moments where you'll have road bumps, but it's how you
And
step up
like
from
they
the
say
road.
it, how can we appreciate the summer if we've never had a winter? How? How are we going to appreciate the summer if we've never had a winter? We
Listen,
need to we need to have a cold winter. We need to have those big jackets on and them hoodies on and them woolly hats on. So when the sun comes out and the t-shirts are out and the shorts are out, man
yeah,
turning up. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
what I'm saying
Man
to you, bro.
smiling. So we
You
need
know
the
what I
winter.
mean?
We need
You
the
can't have
winter
a
to
full
enjoy
summer.
it.
You can't have a
Yeah,
full life of summer, man. You know what I
you
mean? It wouldn't
can't.
work like that. It wouldn't
No,
work like for the
no.
world. It wouldn't work for the people around you because
That's
people in
it.
life don't like summer. That's why we have a bit of everything. That's why
Yeah,
God gave everything. Because
yeah,
you know what I mean? People like summer, people like this winter, people like the
yeah,
spring, people like the
yeah.
autumn. You know
That's
what I
it.
mean? And that's the trials and
That's it.
tribulations. You have to get
That's
through the
it.
winter. You have to
And
get through
that's
the
it.
winter, the spring to enjoy the better days of the summer. You
And
have
we
to
need
go
to
through.
learn from the nature because when we look at winter, the trees, no leaves, dead, dead, dead,
Yeah,
dead. By the
And
time the summer come round, colors are there, beautiful. They'll say there's a cycle. The tree, the leaves, they fall, they die, then then they start to blossom again in the spring, and then through the summer they're hot. Things are out. So this is like life. 1 minute it might be winter for you. It's cold. You ain't got nothing. You're going through it. Then you start to blossom. You start to pick up a little bit of a buzz. The summer comes out. You're shining. You're shining.
yeah.
You
I'm
know what I'm
telling you, you
saying?
know what I mean? And I feel like for
So
me, what advice would you give up, like, to kind of, end this kind of, podcast and Mad in the Dunya tour? How would you kind of say going forward now? You know what I mean? The government of whatever has set a target of saying, oh, we can't see a time of everything going right. You know what I mean? We can't see this, we can't see that. What's the advice you would give, the people right now that are confused and say to yourself, I don't know when I'm going to see the light in the tunnel. Yes, there's all the vaccine and all that, but when can he say, you have to get through February, March, when can he say to people when to see the light? How do you go process month to month, day to day?
yeah, man, I'm all about day to day, man. I'm all about, learning from yesterday and implementing that today and preparing for tomorrow. You know what I mean? So that means making the most of today, innit? So whatever you do today, learn from the mistakes that you can't go back. Yesterday's gone. That's gone. That's done. You know what I mean? What you have is today. So if you made a mistake yesterday, say to yourself, you know what? Today I'm going to change that. Yesterday I made a mistake. I'm not doing that no more. I'm going to change that today. And then tomorrow, prepare for it. Make sure that whatever you're doing today is in preparation for a better tomorrow. You know what I'm trying to say? And we know that this can be put in the football sense, where teams lose a game and they say that game's gone. We've lost it. It's marked out. Today's training. Let's train today for the match tomorrow. Let's prepare ourselves today. If this was football and we just lost the game yesterday, train your hardest today in preparation for the big match tomorrow. And that's all it is. What all the top managers say, game by game. We're not looking past the next one. Game by game.
It might be boring. That's why they say it. That's why they say it. Because you can't look at the hair after we, you know what I mean? We don't want to say, we might not live past a month, but we don't know where we're here for how long. But you have to enjoy day by day. That's why for me, that's why I keep positive. That's why I keep smiling. A lot of people, they say to me, why do you keep smiling? And I say, because I live day by day. I try to get the best out of the day. I make sure, you know what I mean, I've got people around me who help me. I know that what I've got, you got me, alhamdulillah, you know what I mean? I got a roof on my head, I got money, I got family, I've got, you know what I mean? I've got all the people around me to kind of enjoy.
Grateful.
You know, man, I'm grateful. And you have to be, and I always say this every day, man. Stay happy, but also stay humble. You know what I mean? Don't get big-headed. Get all this kind of, I've got this and I've got the latest this and all that, man. Stay humble in this dunya, because it can bite you, man. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's a cold world out there, bro. It's a cold world, man.
And there's one principle that I learned, especially in our deen, in our faith, and that says, don't look down to the people, don't look up to the people that have more than you. Look down to the people you have more than. You know what I mean? Don't be walking around thinking, I wish I had the big car like this guy. I wish I had the big house like this guy. I wish I had the money that. How about you look at what you have and look down at the people, or look down and think, you know what? I could have been in that position where I don't have a home. I could have been homeless. I could have been the person with no shoes. I could have been the person without a meal on my table today. Be thankful for what you do have, because there's somebody out there praying for what you have today. That's what people got to understand. There's people out there right now praying that they had what we have. And sometimes we don't appreciate what we have. So there's people out there praying, thinking, I wish I had a warm home. I wish I had food on my table today. I wish I just had a nice family around me. They don't want the big mansion and BMWs and Mercedes. They just want what the average person has. So when you're going through what you're going through and you're not being grateful, just remember there are people out there praying for what you have today. And also, we got to remember some of the things that we have today, we prayed for, and now we got it. We're not even grateful. We're grateful. How many of the things do we have today? We used to say, I wish I had this computer. I wish I had this. I wish I had this phone. I wish I've got. Now we got it. We forgot that we even prayed for it ourselves.
And that's the biggest reality, man. And that's for
Mad
me.
in the dunya.
Yeah, it's mad in the dunya, man. It's mad in the dunya. And I say to the people, the kind of last advice is just spread love, man. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people spreading hate, spreading negativity, man. Just spread love, man. You know what I mean?
Spread it.
Tell the person you love them. Tell the person you have a
100%.
simple text message, man, to say you love them for the sake of Allah or the sake of anything that you
Yeah,
believe in. You love them, and you know
100%.
what? You wish good on them, man. You know what I mean? Don't have this
100%.
envy or hate about you. You know what I mean? Like
No, no, no.
you can't change a person's success. You can't change
Yeah,
a
you
person's
can't.
how they're gonna live their life. So why are you
You
gonna hate
can't.
on them, man?
You
You know what I mean?
can't.
You've got no control of their life. So why are you hating on them? You know
So
what I
that,
mean?
look at this.
You're not built in this world to hate.
Yeah, in this era of football, we've had two of the best players the world has ever seen. And had they hated on each other, like there's space for two, there's space for more. There's
Say for
always
more.
space. There's space for more. There's more. There's more. There's space for more. Like we want more. We don't just want Messi and Ronaldo. There's space for more. Like
Mm.
it's never just there's only space for one person to be doing good. There's only space for one person to. There's a lot of space at the top, man. People just gotta be just wish good for people, like you said, man. Wish good
Yeah,
for
man.
people.
Wish good for people, man. You know what I mean? Don't envy anyone. You know what I mean? Just live your life, man. Spread love. Keep promoting people. Help people out. You know what I'm saying? It's free, man. I'm telling you right now, especially when we got time, man. Use this to your advantage. Don't use this to, you know what I mean, to spread all kinds of nonsense
And
in
that's
this
something
world.
that, and this is something like Loon from Bad Boys, ex-rapper Loon from Bad Boys, who converted to Islam, changed his life. He said that, when he was with P Diddy and all of them, man, he said that he realized that we pay for the disease while the cure is free. He goes, we pay for the disease while the cure is free. Because he said the disease is all these things that we're trying to buy, the fast cars, the this, the that. He goes, the cure is free. The cure is your family, your loved ones, the dean, people that are there. They're there. You didn't have to pay for them.
You don't have to pay for them. They're there, but right now in this worldly and in this dunya, we're not using it, and that's why we're fueling into kind of depression and we're fueling into anxiety, man. You know what I mean? We're not using the tools wisely, and that is something that you guys need to spread amongst yourselves, spread it around. You know what I mean? Like, and spread the love. You know what I mean? You don't have to invest in it, man. You know what I mean? You can just get it and give it. You know what I mean? Give and receive, like footballers, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's you know what I mean. It's a funny old, reality. But guys, it's been a pleasure. We've whizzed through an hour. You know what I mean, and we kind of give you some talking points. You know what I mean, and some kind of ideas. You know what I mean. You take it or leave it. You know what I mean. That's the reality of life. That's the reality of how we kind of build on life. You take things, or you kind of say, you know what, I'm too arrogant to kind of I'm all right, but it could be not all right, mate. You know what I mean? You could not be all right. Just enjoy it, man. Enjoy the life we're living in right now. Yeah, we might be in lockdown, but you have to be grateful that you've got a TV to watch every day. You've got a phone that you can go on every day. The Wi-Fi is getting paid by your dad. You know what I mean? Everything's. You know what I mean? You can go get food by a click of an app. You know what I mean? It's you know what I mean? I feel like for me, just enjoy life, man. Enjoy the life, man. It will be up and down. But I tell you what, mate, there'll be more ups than you think there will be downs. I tell you that, mate. There will be more ups than you think there'll be downs. And just enjoy life, man. Anything you want to say last, bro?
No, that's it, man. Man, wish people good, like you said, well-being, self-love, and just take care of your spiritual as much as you do it with your physical. You know what I mean? We wake up, we brush our hair, we bath, we look after our bodies and all of that, but don't forget your spiritual. Don't forget your mind. Don't forget to listen to good things, positive things. Don't forget to pray. Don't forget your spiritual, man. In this dunya where it's all about the physical and
the materials.
The materials, what you have, how you look. But don't forget about what counts, and that's what's inside. Don't forget about your heart, your mind, your body, and your soul, man. So
yeah, man, exactly, and that's gonna be our topic for the week. You know what I mean? You guys let us know what you want us to discuss. You know what I mean, in the next week's podcast or kind of talk. We have interactive show. You guys let us know what you want to discuss in the comments below, or when you finish this video, go check out the comments and you just let us know what you want to talk about. You know what I mean? It could be good or bad. You know what I mean? We'll try to give you the real opinion on this channel. But guys, like the video, go follow Moosa and let the people know what you do your charity, man. Let the people know.
Yeah. My Instagram page is Revert to Islam. That's my personal one. My charity page, Resole, where we distribute sneakers to homeless people and children in care or people that's come out of prison or unaccompanied minors. That's Resole CIC, Resole CIC Instagram. Yeah, follow us on there.
Yeah, man. Big up to everybody who's tuned in right now to this video. And yeah, man, I mean, we're giving real opinions. It comes from the heart. It comes from, you know what I mean, of real truth and humbleness. So yeah, you know what I mean. Just enjoy your life, and we will get there. I'm telling you, people, we will see the end of
Big
the light.
game tomorrow. Big game
And
tomorrow.
big game tomorrow, and hopefully we get the W, and hopefully
That's
the
it.
positivity can continue. But guys,
Continue.
like the video, subscribe to United Central. And yeah, hopefully we can get him on soon, man. You know what I mean? To give him his wisdom, man, because he's got a lot of wisdom to talk to people. So we will hopefully get him on. But yeah, man, guys, like the video, subscribe to United Central, and we'll see you soon, guys.